Thank you, Indrajit ji. You may stop sharing your screen. And the next participant is CA Vinod Choudhary ji. Vinod ji, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me just share my screen.
Your time starts now.
So I'm sharing my screen from another desktop. Hope it is visible to all of you.
Yeah, it's
My
visible.
screen is visible.
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So
You may start.
my use case is FinGenie, AI-powered financial genie. Now, a lot of chartered accountants, either in practice or maybe in industry, has to dig on a lot of information for their clients, maybe advising or maybe for investment. So that is the reason I created this platform, FinGenie, which can automate the complete research report process, right? So this FinGenie has access to over 5,000 plus securities. Okay, you name the security and it will create complete equity research report. This research report is a professional level research report. It's just like you are making a wish to a genie and it grants your wish. That is the concept. Uh, this is theoretically, but technically, this is inspired from the sites like Lovable or Bolt, wherein you just give a prompt and that sites, build up your complete dashboard. Similar to those, you just give a security name and it will generate a research report for you. Just a simple flow how things happens of it. You just have to give a simple prompt that create an equity research report of any security. Let's say we are saying Reliance. So what happens, this prompt is given to an AI. Then AI, what happens over here, it uses something, means here it is behind the scenes, there is something called as auto prompting, where we again prompt the AI results to an AI. It is like two chat GPT talking to each other and trying to generate an equity research report. But in the process, I don't want chat GPT to generate on its own, right? I want it should access real data. And to access real data, I've used tools, right? So I've given AI those tools, access to these tools, and AI can autonomously decide, okay, which tool I want to use. Whether I want to, get some financial data, I will use this tool. I want to get some other data, I will use other tools. So AI has the flexibility to decide on which tool to use, and it is it works on concept of auto prompting along with tools, and finally we get an equity research report. So the data source that here I have given is, it extracts data from Screener, it extracts data from Yahoo Finance, from BSC, from NSC, and it has a repository of means we can, generate around 5,000 plus whatever securities we have it, whatever security research report you want, you can generate it. Okay. This process I will come a little later. Let's directly jump to the live use case. This is the platform FinGenie. Here you have something called as model labs. The name labs is, I have been experimenting a lot, means with what type of research reports it generates. So that's why that's the name is. I'll click on model labs and it will just open a chat like a portal. So what I need to do is I just have to simply type this, create equity research report for Reliance, and just send. Before sending, I'll just open Chrome developer window so that you can see what's happening behind the scenes. I'll click on send. Now, it will automatically try to generate responses. So here you can see start time. Once the report is finished, you will see end time. Time taken, it is still running, so that's why time taken is increasing. Here you can clearly see the tokens, because I'm pretty much concerned about how much tokens it is consuming, and also concerned about max context limit. Each of the model has specific context limit, so here to visualize what's happening over it. Cost, here simply I put here cost some figures over here. So this is using an Chinese model JLM 4.6. Okay, so technically this model you can just in $3 you can use unlimited. I've just kept this cost as a random figure so that we can see, okay, if we are trying to use any other model, maybe OpenAI, maybe any other model, so what would be my cost? Okay, so how it started? Here, when we say that, okay, generate equity research for Reliance. So first, initially, it will try to make a plan, right? And when it make a plan, it first says that, okay, I want to identify the symbol for it. Because when it is using a tool, it has to, in the APIs, it has to specify symbols, right? So first, it is trying to extract symbols from the database. So the database has given up, some matching results. From this, it will find out, okay, which is the Reliance. So here it will automatically decide, okay, I have found Reliance, and next step, it is trying to extract financial statement. Now this, and will try to extract financial statement from screener. I'll show you behind the scenes how it is getting the information. But I try to create this chat in such a way that we have a clear idea about what's happening in the model. When I say that it is auto prompting, you can see that clearly after each step, there are here 40 iterations. I've provided a max limit of 40 iterations because normally it gets generated in 20 or 30 iterations. So it is like ChatGPT talking to each other when it says, okay, I have this much of data, what's next, I have to do it. So every iterations happens like this. So at each step, it's trying to call a particular tool, and once when this tool hits specific APIs, and from that the results are generated, right? You can also hover up on each of the tools. What is the purpose of the tool? Why AI has used this tool? You can get it. What are the arguments, right? When we are using APIs, the tools are specifically, it's API. What are the arguments that it has to specify in that API, right? So those arguments, it generates it, and then by tool calling, get the results. So from here, this is we are getting data from Yahoo Finance. Over here we got data from Screener. Now here it is trying to generate, okay, which are the peers. For Reliance, we have to also look at what are the peers doing into the market. So here it has extracted peers information. Again, it is getting peers information from Yahoo Finance. Then one of the thing that these models are weak at calculation part. I don't want model to automatically make calculation, maybe generate calculation. Rather than that, I've given a calculator tool wherein it you know uh, gives an expressions. Okay, so that the all expressions or all calculations are happened using Python, right? And we get correct results rather than getting some inaccurate results via model. So it is constantly trying to, it is making all those calculations, and we can see that, okay, how much time has elapsed. Okay, it will take some time to generate all the calculations. Meanwhile, the other features that are there, here you can, as I said, there is, here you can specify token cost, etc. I will show you the backend, which is a fast API. Okay, so what happens is our AI talks to this backend, right? And it makes specific calls, right? Let's say if I want to search for a symbol, right? So what happens? Tool calling call this API. I'll just show you how it happens. So let's say when we say that the argument that it has given into the tool, this argument gets entered over here, and then it clicks on execute, and we get the matching result. So there are a lot of APIs over here. So these are specific to Screener API. This is specific to NSC. This is specific to reports. Now reports are we have a repository of over
The last
20,000.
2 minutes is left.
We have a repository of over 20,000 plus annual reports, and it also fetches details from annual reports. Now, as I said, we'll wait if the results has been generated, or maybe I will just show you one of the generated results. So from here, you can completely download the chat, and again, you can reload the chat. Okay, so this is again one of the chat which I've just ran a couple of while ago, and if you see at the end, right, it finally generates the response in a JSON. The response have asks AI to generate the response in JSON so that we can easily visualize in a dashboard. Now, when I click on view report, just like in Lovable or other tools we see, we get a complete dashboard over here. So this is Reliance Industries Limited. Everything here, it has everything: current price, target price, market cap, investment thesis, what are the key driver details, right? The financial analysis. Here it will automatically feed in because everything is coming from the JSON. This is just basically a placeholder, right? Where all the values are pulled into it. It generates a very, very detailed analysis and valuation details as well. Maybe peers information which has fetched. It has plot all the peers information, industry analysis, etc. Everything it does it. And you can also, if you want to see JSON report, so here when you click on JSON, you'll get the JSON output that it has generated. So I asked the model to generate the report in this particular JSON format only. We can use something called as output parser, and ask AI to give the output in JSON. And there are validators who actually validates whether the output is as per the JSON template which we have asked or not. We can also have a PDF as well. So if I click on PDF, it will give me a PDF about the entire report. Just last thing I want to cover up, which is, well, we saw one of the example of equity research report, but it is not limited to
The
it.
time is over.
Okay, okay, sir. I think I will end over here. Yeah, I'm up for the questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where should I use this tool if I can go with Claude premium version and do all that what you are doing?
Definitely. So number one thing is cloud premium version. The cost is right. It will cost around $20. Second thing is this model. Any model which we use, it may be called cloud, and in fact, Perplexity would be, I think, better. But what happens? This model just does web search as well, and not necessarily every web search results would be authenticate sources. Here, I'm trying to limit the sources from where it gets the information. Number one. Secondly, uh, I always want a fixed output, right? I want, let's say, the output into fixed manner. It will always give me, since I've asked, I've prepared a JSON template, and it will always give me the output in the JSON template. So only concern with Claude or any other AI is, the major concern is it may access another information which is not an authenticate source, while we are trying to restrict the database. Okay, and we are giving them official APIs or other authenticated APIs so that it can generate more accurate results. One more, just I missed out the last part, to show it. I said that it has also an repository of 20,000 plus annual reports. If you ask Claude, okay, give me companies which have reported fraud in year 2025, it may not be able to it, because for Claude it has to download annual reports, or maybe try to access those annual reports which are not easily available. So I have a database of 20,000 plus annual reports which I have converted into text, then have saved in the JSON format. I've just converted those texts into chunks, okay, and then using a sentence transformer embeddings, I've converted those into embeddings and then have saved it to the Postgres database. So when the AI searches for a query, so it gets converted into embeddings, and using embeddings it is been searched, so it doesn't have to read through entire annual reports. Little bit of cost saving angle, so it doesn't have to search entire annual report, just that it will embeddings match will give the similar results, and it will able to get those results and probably better answer based on it.
Okay. So, Vinodji, can you show me the technologies and the tools and the APIs that you have used in this whole process?
Yeah. So the entire application is built using vibe coding tools. I have just installed Visual Code, and in that I have extension client and one of the cheapest model, that is GLM 4.6. The AI models here, I've used GLM 4.6 Gemini, but the architecture, which is I'm using OpenAI SDK, so it actually supports any kind of model, right? So on that OpenAI SDK, I've just provided custom URLs for GLM and Gemini. We can also use Gemini free of cost. The backend is built in Fast API. Also, there is another backend that is in the Flux, and the front end is entirely built in React. We have a database, Postgres, and for embeddings, we have used this model, one of the smallest model, because since I said to convert 20,000 plus annual reports into text and then save it into database, it takes a lot of efforts, and so that's why the choice of model that you use it. I don't want to use OpenAI or any other embeddings model. So I've just used a free open source model which is just less than 25 MB, and using that the entire process got completed into less than 25 plus hours, 25 hours.
So you downloaded all the reports using.
I have created several scripts. Okay, the process is you can easily get URL links from Screener or some other websites, and you can download in bulk. Once you have downloaded, then the conversion process happens up where you convert into text, and then in order to have an efficient matching, you then convert into chunks and then embeddings, and then finally you save it into a database.
So let's assume you have to download all these reports and then create your own database.
Yes.
Then a new company gets listed. Let's suppose Grow got listed day before yesterday. So in that case, that report has to be included. The whole process has to be followed, right?
Yes, for one particular company, it will hardly take, if it is a one company, it hardly takes 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay. And what about Yahoo Finance? Where have you embedded it?
So here,
One of
as I
these
said,
slide you show you gave a glimpse of Yahoo Finance also.
one second. So over here, I showed Yahoo Finance because Yahoo Finance has 400 plus data points. Some of the data points which Screener doesn't have it, and that's why I've used Yahoo Finance. You can see Yahoo Finance APIs over here. What I have done is I've built out a backend on Fast API. So basically, the model just hits this API, and you can let's say here the ticker is Reliance and TCS. Okay, you can provide a list of symbols over here, and when you click on execute, okay, you'll get all the responses. So in backend you have a Python Yahoo Finance library, and which is giving this data. But in order that model should access it, that's why I have created a fast API over it, through which the model can access it using any of the tools.
And what do you think is the cost? Because I was looking at the screen when you entered that prompt. I want to do a research of Reliance Industries. There
Yes.
were a tracker of how many tokens have been expended.
Sure.
I think here somewhere was at the
One
top
second.
it was mentioned.
That tokens would be visible when it is run. So as I said, I'm using a GLM model. So you have in GLM you have a plan of $3 per month, and that is sufficient. That has unlimited usage. I think what you get in Claude Pro Max, you can get in $3. So the efficiencies of that models are as good as Claude 4.5. Sonnet 4.5, and the cost is 10x cheaper than that. That's why I choose those models.
Okay.
Hardly it would if I would have to say, hardly it would cost maybe less than 1 rupee or 2 rupee for generating the entire codes.
And coming to the use case, you did this research for the long-term perspective or the short-term perspective, because
No,
nothing as such was mentioned in the prompt.
Definitely, this is there are a lot of things when we create any kind of system, right? There are a lot of things that you can improve it, that you can add on more features you can add on. So right now I'm saying that it only has access to annual reports, like in terms of PDFs. But what if in future I want to have access to real data, right? As soon as the filings are been reported on BSC NSC platform, I should get the AI should be able to access those filings, right? Not only those, but also investor presentation. Now investor presentation are slightly trickier than annual report, because most of them are graphical representation. My embedding model would not work on it. I have to use something, another open source models like Queen visual learning models, VL models, which can extract information. Then probably we can have earning call as well. So there are a lot of scopes of improvement.
No,
I'm definitely
I
looking
think I think you are confusing me.
at.
The output that you received in PDF, na? Can you just
Yeah,
open that PDF?
sure.
Here you had a target price of 2,170, I suppose.
Yes.
So this is by default, I think, in the long term or the short term
Yeah.
report
second.
that you
I
have
got it.
generated.
I
That
got
is
your
what I'm asking. Yeah.
I got your point. So here the dashboard itself shows that time horizon is 5 years. We have different cases, bull case, base case, bear case, etc. What could be the probability as well?
So by default, it's 5 years, I suppose.
No, by default it is not 5 years. So if you see the JSON, right?
No,
Where
but where did you enter the time duration of investment? Let's suppose I want to invest for 20 years.
Okay. I think that I understood your point. So AI automatically, based on its analysis, it will specify, okay, what is the time period. Maybe while prompting itself, when I'm chatting over here, I can say that I have, I want to invest for 2 years. Okay, will Reliance would be a good stock to invest or not? What is the probability that what would be the price over it?
Because it is getting 44% jump from 1,500. And
Yes.
if we divide it by 5 years, the CAGR would be less than 10%. So that is
Yes,
why I am asking what is the CAGR and what is the everything. So from that point, from a user perspective, I was asking.
Definitely. Rather than commenting on the target price or what, one thing that we should look at it, the how it is helping me in the research. Probably not any whatever research report we have in the market may not be accurate, right? And this is also, I would say, that may not be that accurate, but at least it will help
That
me
is
gather all.
okay. That is okay. Yeah.
But
Got
at
it.
least it will help me gather all the information over here. I can review the information. I can review it. Also has all the assumptions that it has made, on what basis assumptions has made. I can review all those details and maybe see, okay, does this looks accurate to me or not? That's it.
Great, great. Vishal sir?
Yeah. And any particular reason for selecting only like apart from Skinner, Yahoo Finance?
There is no
This
such
is one of
reason.
the viewers is asking the question.
Yeah. Yahoo Finance I selected because it has a lot of data, right? I didn't find any other, free open source. Google Finance, we don't have an API. Screen also, we don't have API, but it is more of extracting from the URL and everything. Probably we can incorporate any of the APIs. It's just that you have to specify in the prompt and you have to build up a backend for it. And you just have to provide it into the prompt that, okay, I want to use this API instead of Yahoo Finance. I want to use some another API for it. So this was an open source, easily available. So that's why I used Yahoo Finance, which has a lot of metrics, 400 plus data points over it.
And then if then there is a data redundancy, don't you think? Like if I'm going to Yahoo Finance, getting the data, again coming back to Screener, getting the same data.
No. So there are difference of data, right? So I've analyzed not all the data are available in the screener. So that's why I choose to get additional data from Yahoo Finance. So probably, let's say Yahoo Finance also, I would say in this terms also that probably screener is more for an Indian securities, right?
And
it
can
has,
we handle?
Sorry. So your question, please. So I was saying screener has all the financial information extracted very well, and that's why all the financial information I wanted from screener, and for other information I have taken from Yahoo Finance.
Okay. And will your tool work for quarterly results also?
Yes, I need to just make an amendment. Right now, I'm only feeding in the yearly reports, not the quarterly one. From screener, it's very easy to get that quarterly sections as well.
Yeah, but like you cannot incorporate the quarterly reports here right now.
Yes, it just need to. I just over here in the screener, I have this different sections, right? Over here, I have to just make in backend code. I have just to add that screener specifically ID of that quarterly report. So when I will add it, it will just incorporate it.
Okay. And this thing for the analysis part, like from where it is getting the intelligence to analyze? Have you given some system prompts or it is the LLM deciding?
Yes, once again. I'll show you the system prompt. System prompt is quite long, as like Lovable or any other model has that. The system prompt is maybe 3,000 lines around. Once again.
Okay, so this much data is going every time with the
once again,
API calls.
This is the code part of it. I will just show you the system prompt as well. So this is the system prompt. One thing that with any model, so the more
Screen
detailed
is not showing.
Is it visible, sir? Over here, this is the center part.
That's visible. It's smaller. That's all.
Once again, I will try to make it.
Yeah.
So this is the system prompt, wherein so with LLM, any LLM, even if you analyze Lovable or Bolt prompts, those are more than 3,000 or 4,000 lines longer. So this is complete system prompt where, in fact, I've given which tools it has access to it. What should be approach if anyone says that, okay, I want to generate equity research report. The various steps are there into it. Based on a lot of experiments, where it was failing, where it was not working, I've incorporated all those points. This is the JSON, that thing that I said, okay, I want the
Okay.
output in this JSON
Oh.
format. Whether this is also in this, but and tools also we have provided that the final output should be in JSON.
Yeah. And one more thing, for the forecast, from where the assumptions are being picked up.
So it is AI acts like a human only. So when you provide all the data, right, the data of company itself, the data of peers as well, basis that it calculates. For calculation, it uses calculator tools. Okay, basis that it will see a trend. Okay, I'll show you quickly. So probably it will see over here. First, it is trying to see, okay, these are the trends. From that basis, it makes some assumption, and this is the rationale for all those assumptions as well.
Okay, is it based on historical data, nothing else?
Yes, based on all the provided data. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And how do you account for the capex part then in the forecast? For profit and
Yeah.
loss, this is okay, trend analysis, but for capex?
So I have not hard coded anything that how it should account specific things, right? So AI itself, based on the data that has been, inputted into it, and it has been clearly said that, okay, for every assumption that you make, I want a clear rationale for it. What is the rationale for it? And you have to provide it by the facts, not you should not hallucinate it.
Okay. And how the cash flows are generated in the DCF?
So for generating cash flows, it has tried to pick out all the past values. Based on that, it has made some assumption. Okay, I will take this growth rate, take that growth rate, and then it's performed various expressions. Okay, these are the various expressions, right? This expression are fed into a calculator, which calculates and gives the AI back. Okay, and from that, it has completely generated this JSON.
Okay. And if the data is in the embeddings, will your LLM again search for the internet or directly get it from the embeddings?
No, here there is no access to internet. Okay, so I want, because it's a crucial information, so I want everything should be a database based only. So the process usually happens. LLM generates
Okay.
related
So
queries.
once you download it, it's everything is in the embeddings.
Yes, it not embeddings. It also has into. So along with embeddings, we also save here. It's calling annual report. Okay, here it has made one query. Okay, it has fetched searched into 24-25 annual report. And here, along with queries, we don't want embeddings, because maybe AI wouldn't understand embeddings that much better. Here we got text response as well. So we are saving both text plus embeddings.
Okay.
Embeddings is more for searching, get similar searches.
So for a particular research report to be generated, you are consuming around 2 to 3 million tokens, roughly?
No, not 2 to 3 millions. It is just around 500,000. Probably you can feed in more data,
Half a
and
million.
yes. And this is because every time when an
Okay.
AI call is made, you also fetch previous results as well, and that's why it use 500,000 tokens.
Okay. 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 You could have done this on a local LLM, then what was the issue? Since
Local
all the
LM,
data is locally available.
I should have that GPU as well to support a good local LLM model. So that's I didn't have it, so that's why
Okay.
I tried to use. Uh, I went for an alternative which is cheapest.
Mhm.
And I think this is public
Okay.
data, that is no confidential data. So it's okay to use an, paid LLM or other LLMs as well.
No, no, I'm not talking about from the data point of view. I was talking about from the this thing, the token consumption and all that part. Because as it is, you are using a public document, it's available over the internet freely. So
Yes.
data risk is not a concern.
Token consumption, we can also use Gemini. Okay.
Hmm.
So Gemini is free of cost and it will be able to generate the reports.
Hmm.
So that's not a much concern.
Hmm. Now, if my company is not listed, will your tool be useful?
So in that case, what we can do is we can have feed in all the reports, all the PDF documents or whatever we have it. We need those data at least to generate this insights.
Okay. So like I have to, even though it is not listed, but then since it is going to call screener and all those companies
So,
on the
so what
URL,
happens is
how will
usually
it
what
adapt to this?
we can have we can simply have a upload option wherein I can just we can upload all the documents as
Okay.
well.
So you have
So
to,
probably what would happen in that case is it will, maybe it can also use combination of both based on whatever data
Mhm. Okay.
and whatever data we
And
from both, it can
say
generate the report.
the P multiples and
Yes, sir.
for the P multiples and this thing forecast for a startup company, how will this model work?
Sir, you mean to say
Sorry,
how will the PE be
Suppose if I have got a
projected for
start,
sorry, I lost your voice. Sorry.
yeah, for a startup, yeah, because he's
Sorry, I
taking all
lost your
the
voice. I
valuation
didn't.
partner.
Sir wants to know how will the PE be
Okay, for
forecasted for
the
a company like Lenskart or Grow or something, right?
yes, sir, yeah.